Oh, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Warwick Davis is embarrassed by Willow Season 2 and the fact that it was cancelled. Not what he made. Sorry, I know I gave you hope. But no, he's embarrassed that it was cancelled. And I guess, unfortunately, he's in that position where he can't really say anything. But for those that don't know, Disney, Lucasfilm, decided to make Willow and, a follow-up to Willow as a series. It was cancelled after one season, and it was very clearly set up for season 2. And as part of them removing content to essentially get tax breaks, essentially lowering the value of Disney Plus's content library, so then they can start to turn an imaginary profit. That's essentially what's happening anyway. Yes, you can't watch it anywhere. And so Warwick Davis is embarrassed by that, apparently. But I think a bit of self-awareness goes a long way with these individuals. You can say, I personally liked a product, but I'm aware it didn't hit the mark. These actors, and as likeable as Warwick Davis is just an example of many, many actors that share the same kind of opinion. Their hubris of any show that they're on now, that, you can't even sit there and go, oh, hey, look, it just didn't hit the mark. Now, obviously, all the actors that made this, relatively trash show haven't spoken about it until now. We also had a writer that came out and sort of bemoaned this, but this is the first actor that's involved in this. And like I said, I do think if you're making a product like this, obviously you can't come out and slam it, but I think acknowledging the fact that people dislike it and you miss the mark is absolutely fine. You can still be positive about a show. And loads of people will say, well, he's contracted to say these things. He's not, because he's actually out and out slating Disney in here, calling them out. So if he's going against his contract on anything, it's that. But anyway, whatever, I sort of digress. Let's take a look, hit subscribe. So obviously Willow Season 2, not happening. And Warwick Davis doesn't know what to tell people, basically. So he's just blaming, he's putting the blame on Disney. He's imagining like it just should be going on again. So the series was obviously cancelled by Disney. And then they yanked Season 1 from the streaming platform. I've explained why. The short of it is, they're trying to save money. That's a way that they can save money on a value of a product, because a tax write-off then, and then it never sees the light of day again. So that's, in short, it's a very simplified version of it, but that's basically what they've done. So Warwick Davis took to Twitter to offer his embarrassment in regards to being questioned by fans why they can't watch the series. And here it is. And you know what, it's difficult because he's a likeable chap, but it's also one of those things where you just go, you don't have to say this. You're putting your foot in it. Why are you even saying it? I meet lovely people on a daily basis who are fans of Willow, who are the reason Disney Plus series was made. But there's not enough of them, Warwick, chap. Admit it, there wasn't enough of them. Please tell me, Walt Disney Company, what do I say to these subscribers when they ask why they can't watch the series anymore? Embarrassing. So he calls out his employer, calls them out, and yet you don't have the foresight to at least acknowledge the fact that you missed the mark. It's just a blame game. It's utter nonsense. Utter nonsense. So why is there no Willow Season 2? And this is what's interesting, right? 481,000 households watched was it the first episode, I think it was? The first 2 episodes, sorry. This is not that far off. This is by Samba TV. This is not that far off what Ahsoka did on its finale. But bearing in mind, this is 481,000 that watched 2 shows. And I think Ahsoka watched, I think they released 2. And for Samba TV, their numbers weren't that high either. I think that was still very, very low, even for their initial 2. So it's quite funny, isn't it? You start to compare these numbers, you get a bigger picture of just how bad a lot of these products are doing at the moment. But just isolating it to Willow specifically, it bombed. No one wanted to watch it. 481 households watched Willow on Disney Plus in its first 5 days, those 2 episodes. So 240,000 each, basically. Let's just, round it to that. And they did exactly what they've been doing with everything storytelling-wise. So Warwick Davis, and this is what Disney do. So the title is Willow, and what they did was they swap out the character, the titular character, just like they did in Ahsoka, and they make the story about someone else. It's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. And he even addressed this. Warwick even addressed this. He says, the one thing I took notice of in particular was Mark Hamill returning as Luke Skywalker and how he went about the approach for that. I thought he was really interesting and it wasn't the expected approach. Certainly, he came at it from quite a different angle, and I also did the same. I noticed that Mark didn't try to play the character younger. He just leaned into his more mature years, and that's really what I did as Willow. Yeah, but you didn't know either. Also, you moved it forward and made, you know, a character. The show wasn't even about you. This sequel wasn't even about you. And this is that old switcheroo that they've been doing all the time. It's absolutely nonsense. And here you go. So people just reply straight away, dude, I love your acting, but what Disney made felt nothing like Willow. Yeah, exactly. Acknowledge it. Tell them they're lucky they won't have to watch such an embarrassing series. It was a total miss. We finally had a chance to expand Willow and it was wasted. To be like The Last Jedi in any way is mental. A movie that destroyed the biggest movie franchise, should inspire nothing. Yeah. You missed the mark. You need to admit it. This kind of stuff here doesn't achieve anything. It's complete failure. You say, I'm sorry, but Disney was more interested in filling Disney Plus with literally anything they had the rights to and virtue signalling when they were in making good content that respected and lived up to the original movie. Yeah, it failed to appeal to the larger, ordinary, non-woke audiences. Exactly. Willow, not getting a second series, the greatest travesty. Obviously, being funny. You and the wonderful cast of Willow deserve so much better. No, they didn't. The writing sucked. The truth will set you free. With all due respect, lots of people weren't happy with the direction. Exactly. I mean, this is the thing, right? He can say, well, what do I say to those people that can't watch a series anymore? Well, what you do is you say, actually, hold up. Let me speak to the people that didn't watch the series that made it actually get cancelled. Sorry. That's what you do. Super simple. You're embarrassed, and actually what you're doing is embarrassing. You should be embarrassed by the show, not the fact that it was cancelled.